They say it's game over when you're 25. Frontal lobe fully developed, as if that means the answers arrive too. As if by then, you're supposed to have it all figured out. But I'm not there yet. And honestly, I feel more distant from the answer now at 24 than the 10-year-old version of me who thought he already knew everything. At 24, I realized I don't actually have everything figured out, and pretending that I do is exhausting. So, my answer to this isn't really an answer at all. It's a solo trip. To travel, to slow down, to maybe find something along the way. To heal from everything I didn't know how to carry and everything I pretended I could. So, I left, not knowing what I'll find or if I'll find anything at all. I got to Dumaguete earlier than expected, so I stayed for a bit at Mad Monkey Dumaguete, dropped my bag, took a quick nap, and let myself slow down for the first time in months. No plans yet, no pressure to be productive, just a few quiet hours before heading to the port and finally taking the ferry to Siquijor. The sea greeted me before anyone else did. Salt in the air, boats drifting slowly, the kind of quiet that doesn't ask anything from you. Siquijor felt untouched, like time agreed to slow down here, and for the first time in a while, I did too. Finally, after more than 14 hours of traveling by land, by air, and by sea, we finally reached our destination, Siquijor! What's up guys, it's me Franz. Welcome to my first ever vlog here in Siquijor. I'm not trying to be a professional vlogger, but one thing that I want to do more this year is to document my life more and to be more creative. And I also have a camera, so that pretty much equates to doing cinematic vlogging or doing just vlogging. I cannot promise a cinematic. I chose this particular destination for that particular charm that it has. For my first 2 nights, I found this small Airbnb tucked in the mountains. It was beautiful, simple, and surprisingly affordable. Maybe I chose the mountainside because it felt familiar to me. Even on an island surrounded by sea, I still found myself searching for higher ground. I started my first afternoon just sitting in a tub on the patio, tucked in the mountains of Siquijor. It was quiet, nothing around except trees and cold air. No rush, no plans yet, just a slow start to the day. I headed out after the bath and made my way to La Canopy for the first sunset of the trip. It was simple, just sitting there, watching the sky shift colors slowly over the island. No rush, no distractions. Just the end of the day, settling in quietly over Siquijor. After the sunset, I stopped by a small carinderia for my first dinner in Siquijor. Simple food, nothing special, but it felt enough after the day. I think I needed to come to Siquijor because I've been carrying too much for too long. I needed distance from my usual environment so I could think clearly, slow down, and feel things properly instead of just moving from one responsibility to another. Guys, it's day 2 here in Siquijor. It's already 5 p.m. and I haven't done much of the vlogging yet and even videos or chased any tourist spots just to say I've been there. I think I just need this day to be a reset day, so I had no contact with my phone, with any of my gadgets, and I just want to sit quietly with my feelings, sit quietly with my emotions, write in my journal, and finally be honest with myself about where my life is headed, my career, and the future I want. the things I need to let go of, and the parts of me that still need healing. So yeah, I'll show you what I did today. Today became simple. Not about doing everything, but about stopping long enough to ask why I'm doing and if not why. So, I did 3 rituals. I started with confrontation, sat down with my journal and faced the questions I've been avoiding for a while. What did the past months actually teach me? What am I still holding on to that I should probably let go of? What kind of life am I really trying to build? What do I want to change moving forward? No pressure to answer everything, just honesty for once. The second ritual was a quick dip in a shower. I sit in the water a bit, no rush, just slowing down. It was light, even fun. In between, I drifted through stills of the Airbnb, then back to my thoughts, rest and urgency, doubt and direction, dialectic sitting side by side, without needing to be solved. After the first 2 rituals, I finally took a break and had dinner at Baha Bar. I ordered chicken inasal and kinilaw. It was really good, and exactly what I needed after the day. And finally, the release ritual. I wrote down what I needed to let go of. Pressure, guilt, expectations, and the version of me that always feels like I have to be okay. Then, I burned it. Not as something magical, just something symbolic. A clear decision to release it. Maybe it doesn't fix everything, but maybe it's enough to start again a little lighter and a little more honest. Third day, finally into tourist mode. No rituals, no deep thinking, just heading to the beach to see the sea and spend some time by the water. First stop was Salagdoong Beach. It's a really beautiful beach. White sand, clear blue water, and cliffs around the area. I just sat on the beach for a while, watched the water, and stayed there quietly before moving on to the next stop. What's up guys? So I'm currently here at Salagdoong Beach. It's currently 12:30 p.m. and I started the day a little bit late, and I drove all the way from Lambohon to Maria just to get here, and then later on we're gonna visit some other tourist spots. So yesterday was a grounding and it's a reality check day for me, but today it's time to be a tourist and enjoy Siquijor. After leaving Salagdoong Beach, I passed through the man-made forest. The road was shaded the whole way. Tall trees on both sides, cooler air, and a quiet stretch in between stops. It felt like a short pause before heading to Lazi Convent. Next stop was the Lazi Convent. It's one of the oldest convents in the country, and you can really feel the history in the place. 6 stone walls, wide open spaces, and a quiet that feels different from the beach. Personally, it made me slow down and pay attention more. There's something about standing in a place that has lasted this long that makes you reflect on how temporary everything else feels. Next up was the enchanted baleta tree. It's a massive old tree with roots spread everywhere, and there's a spring pool in front where small fish swim around. People were dipping their feet in and just hanging out. They also had a small area selling voodoo dolls and love potions, which made the place feel a bit quirky and unusual. Just a quick stop, but definitely one of the more interesting spots on the island. Next stop was Pitogo Cliff. People say you haven't really been to Siquijor if you don't visit this place. The cliffs drop straight into clear blue water, and the view is really wide and open. I flew the drone here, and it reminded me of the kind of coastal view I've always associated with Positano, Italy, which is still a dream destination for me. It also just made me realize again how beautiful the Philippines really is in places like this. Just stayed for a bit, took some shots, and then moved on. Quick stop at View Cafe Siquijor before heading to Palaton Beach. Just sat down for a bit, rested and got ready for the long drive. Nothing much, Just a short pause before catching the sunset. Next stop was Palaton Beach. It was quite far from Brew Cafe Siquijor, and I was honestly cutting it close for sunset. I almost didn't make it in time. Palaton is one of the more famous beaches in Siquijor, and I could see why once I got there. White sand, calm water, and a really good sunset view. Still, I caught the sunset, and it was beautiful regardless. I had dinner at Salawaki, saw it on TikTok, and decided to try it. I ordered sinigang and sisig. Both were really good. I'd recommend it if you're in Siquijor. Day 4. Last full day on the island. First stop was a beach my tour guide insisted I visit for drone shots. It was really beautiful. The water was blue, clear and calm, and the whole place felt open and untouched. Just stayed for a bit to take it all in before moving on. Second stop was Cambugahay Falls, probably the most famous waterfall on the island. I wrote in my journal the other day that I wanted to try new things and to be more fearless. So I actually did it. I jumped from the platform into the water, around 20 to 21 feet. I ended up doing it 4 times. Easily one of the highlights of the trip. Cambugahay Falls has 3 layers. The first level was where I jumped into the water. The second level was where most people get their videos taken. Tour guides literally moving around with the camera to mimic drone style shots. The third layer was the ferry walk area, but I skipped it since there were already a lot of people. I also conquered the Sambulawan Underground River. The whole experience took around 30 minutes inside. The water was cold, and you had to move through narrow passages while wading and swimming at certain points. It was actually really fun, challenging at first, but enjoyable once you get into it. My tour guide invited me to his aunt's house since it was Lazi's Fiesta. It was a simple local gathering, food on the table, people coming in and out, and a really warm, welcoming atmosphere. Next up was Monkey Beach. There was a scenic trail going down before you reached the beach. When I got there, it was completely empty. No people at all. They said that the waves are usually strong, but when I arrived, it was calm. I stayed for a while and just looked at it. It made me realize how different places can feel depending on the timing. You don't really control what you get. You just show up and see it as it is. Next stop was Lagaan Falls. Just a quick stop here. It was way less crowded compared to Cambugahay Falls, so the vibe was more chill. I didn't swim, just hung around for a bit and took it in before heading out. Last stop was the sunset at Tubod Beach. I remember on my second day, I called this trip a reset. Like I needed to slow everything down and figure things out without forcing anything. Now I'm here at the last sunset, and I think the reset didn't really come as answers. It came as space. Space to breathe, to slow down, to just be okay not having everything figured out yet. And I think another realization is that nothing really changes in one big moment. It changes in small ones. You walking, waiting, sitting, choosing to stay a little longer instead of rushing to the next thing. Same island, same sea. but something in me feels lighter than when I arrived. Not because everything is solved, but because I stopped trying to solve everything all at once. After the sunset, I had dinner at Siquijor. It was highly recommended, so I wanted to check it out. I ordered steak and a mango shake. Both were really good. I even ended up swimming in their pool while a DJ was playing music in the background. It was a chill stop before heading out later to party. After dinner at Siquijor, I went to JJ's Backpackers for the party. It was fun, really open and welcoming. Not just Gen Z, but people from different ages just enjoying the night together. The music was so good, and the vibe was easy to get into. Day 5 started with breakfast at Coco Grove Beach Resort. I had planned to just chill by the beach after, but it ended up raining, so I stayed in a bit and took it slow instead. Thankfully the rain stopped, and I was still able to do my final activity, snorkeling. I was actually a bit scared at first, especially of drowning or getting overwhelmed in the water, but I still went for it anyway. Once I got used to it, it became easier to just breathe, float, and look around. It ended up being one of the highlights of the trip. The water was clear, and I saw around 4 turtles while I was out there. I just stayed in the moment and enjoyed it before wrapping up. Today was still a day of reflection, just in motion. Snorkeling, seeing the turtles and schools of fish move so calmly underwater. It all felt slow, like they weren't rushing anything. And while I was there was this thought I couldn't shake. Time is moving, and I'm moving with it. How should I spend what's left before I turn 25? Not as pressure, but as awareness. Before this, most days were just about getting through things. But here, everything slowed down. And even underwater, things felt clearer instead of louder. Seeing them move in their own rhythm made me realize I don't have to rush mine. I don't have answers yet. I'm paying attention in a different way now. As I floated there, I wasn't trying to solve anything, just watching life move around me. And that felt enough. I wrote in my journal, don't be afraid of living. Maybe this solo trip wasn't about finding answers, but learning how to stay present in it. Maraming salamat, Siquijor.